I'm Grace. Some of you know me as Officiant Grace, and I'm also a couples counselor. And I wanted to come on here and tell you about an amazing session that a very dear couple had the other day. I've been working with them actually before their wedding. They hired me to officiate for them, and they committed to doing a series of pre-marriage counseling. And they've been so dedicated and devoted. And the other day we had a session of sessions. So we've been talking about all the various different skills and practices that really help us to get grounded and centered and most of all present, because our presence is the way that we actually engage with each other and show up for the love connection, especially when it's challenging and there's not a connection happening. So they've been really committed to learning all these skills and practices. And then the other day they said, yeah, but how do you keep this all going? It's hard enough getting ready for the wedding. How are we going to keep this going once we're married? And they were kind of reflecting on the anticipation and the predictability of life kind of gets ordinary. And life gets busy and other things take priority, and the relationship can kind of just fall to the background because now you're secure, you're committed. So how do you keep the love alive is the question over the long haul. I love this question. Not everybody asks, but if you ask me, I will tell you that in my experience for myself and in working with so many other people, the absolute foundation of being able to keep your love relationship, your long-term committed relationship really thriving is to absolutely commit to your relationship with yourself, and even deeper than that, to be attuned to who you are at your essence. Every one of us is a unique presence in this world, and we all have a core essence that if you ask us, it's often a word or a phrase, and it's like, that's me. So I said, okay, do you guys want to do a deep dive? I want to just let you know that they have also done a fair bit of personal growth on their own before we started working, so they're fairly savvy and in tune. I said, we're going to work towards getting a vision for your marriage, for your relationship over the long haul, and we're going to pick some core elements of your life and get really clear what your values are. And then the guy said, yeah, well, my most important thing is my purpose. And if I stay true to that, then the rest of it sort of falls into place. And I went, okay, gold star, absolutely. So would you let me guide you in a very short inquiry, a guided meditation, really? And they both said yes. They were all cuddled up together. And I said, okay, here we go. And I just asked them to just take some breaths and feel, okay, just remember a moment or two in your life when you felt most alive, most authentic, most yourself. It could have been a time when you were feeling really vital and really empowered and kind of mountaintop experience, or it could have just been a simple, quiet moment of, there I am. I know I can feel myself. And we all have this. When we're deeply connected, there's like a recognition of who we are. So I guided them, and they opened their eyes, and I said, okay, who wants to go first? And they both got it really quite quickly, and they shared a couple of examples of times when they could remember feeling pretty tuned in and dialed in to their authentic self. I said, great, wonderful, very quite articulate. And then I said, okay, now we're going to do an interesting experiment. I want you to turn towards each other, and I'm going to have you introduce yourself. Hi, my name is, your name, and I am, and finish the sentence. So I'd already had them find that individually for themselves, but they hadn't really, well, they'd said it out loud, but kind of over that way. And it was really fascinating what happened when they went to turn towards each other. The woman said, well, this is putting me on my edge. I've already shared with my partner that I'm feeling some difficulty being vulnerable, and this is about as vulnerable as I could get. And I said, okay, so what do you need? And she said, I need you to be really present with me. And he said, I'm right here. There's that presence thing. So it took her a few times, but she was like, hi, my name is, and she got all red in the face and flushed and kind of nervous and laughter. And we tried it 2 or 3 times. And I said, just close your eyes and feel the statement when you said it for yourself. And then open your eyes, check in with your partner, and make sure that he's ready to receive this. And he said, I'm right here, and meant it. And so she went, hi, my name is, and I am love. She melted, he melted, I melted, and she was like, oh my God, I'm like sweating. And I was like, isn't this fascinating to reveal the deepest authentic self to your most beloved? It feels like a lot. And then he went and had his turn, and his took a few rounds, and he's like, well, I'm a master at helping people feel safe. And when they feel safe, they relax and they become themselves. And I said, and what do you feel when that happened? He said, I am so alive. And then I said, okay, say it. He said, hi, my name is, and I was born to be fully alive. And he just turned on, and everybody was like, whoa. And then I said, okay, partners, do you recognize that person? And they both actually, their eyes watered, and they're like, absolutely, that's exactly who you are, my precious woman. And she said, that's exactly who you are, my precious man. And so just in a few minutes, I mean, all of that took maybe 5 minutes, they had dropped down, not only for themselves, but had reconnected. And the beautiful thing is, even though it was hard for them to reveal it, their partner was like, that's who I know you to be. So this is the power and the gift of not only doing your own inner journey to find that beautiful I am self and call to purpose, which is to be that and live that. And that's what brings us our greatest fulfillment. But without it, there's actually nobody home in the relationship. You can do all the skills, you can do all the practices, but if you are not in that essence and expressing from there, it feels flat inside and you don't actually deeply connect. So the cool thing is they made an agreement that they would be each other's ally to support the remembrance. It's like, hey, love, it seemed like you're having a hard day. Are you remembering who you are? I remember who you are. Do you need any help getting there? Do you need a little time out to go get there? I love you. And same the other way. Hey, it seems like you might be a little off course today. I remember who you are. Can I help you remember? I am here to see you for you. And it was so touching. This is the core of my life's work and my call to purpose. My purpose is to remember that I am here as a vessel of grace and love in the world, and to help everybody that I can get my hands on to remember that for themselves. Because I know that when we do that, we receive the deepest sense of communion and connection and relationship inside. We feel safe, we feel inner union, and then we're capable of creating the kind of connection that we all long for, especially in long-term committed relationships. So if you're new to this kind of counseling work, that might feel like, oh, wow, that's pretty intense. Needless to say, we don't have to start there. And yet I do want you to know that if you are considering coming, even for a 5-session series, it does include individual sessions so that you can really start to grow and deepen and strengthen that inner connection with yourself. And I'll give you the skills and practices on how to do that. And then learning how to share from that authentic place and building up really practical abilities to catch when you're in reaction, when you're not centered, when you're talking over each other, and to get that presence and that connection and build that safety. As the woman in this example said, when she didn't feel safe, it was hard for her to go to that core self. Interestingly enough, his whole call to purpose is to help people feel safe. So I was like, okay, fiance, almost husband, guess what? You just got called into your purpose and you know how to do this. So more safety, and watch what happens with your beloved here as she opens and just flourishes and shares all of her love with you. So please be in touch if you're intrigued and would like to know more. We can have a free consult and talk about how this might serve you individually and especially in your partnership. This work is for people that are preparing for marriage, and it's also absolutely for those of you that are already in and going, okay, this isn't as easy as we thought it was. We may need some help. Please come. I am so honored to support you. It really is possible to have that deep inner fulfillment and to have that long-lasting fulfillment in your relationship. Blessing to everyone. Have a beautiful day.